Hello, welcome back to Beneficiary Live Noding. In this episode, we're gonna take a look at just a simple operations. It's the Boolean operations inside Sverchok add-on. I think I touched on this a while ago, but I haven't really properly used the Boolean. So we're gonna try to make something using box and Boolean. So it should be pretty simple. So SV, box, and Boolean. So supposedly, Boolean is really basic, but in, in Blender, if you are using Boolean and you are using Boolean modifier, even though it's kind of simple and it's actually supposed to be intuitive, oftentimes when you Boolean two objects, you end up with the result, but the result is actually still kind of connected to the original objects, and I found that to be not quite intuitive because you're probably expecting the third objects instead of two objects, and then you get the result on the first object. That's kind of one thing that I think it's not so intuitive with a Boolean modifier, even though it is actually really powerful to be able to do this, and it's still kind of real time and live. Of course, you can always make these guys kind of like wire, things like that. But anyhow, let's try to do it inside Sverchok, just basic stuff. CSG Boolean. So CSG Boolean is, of course, the one inside Sverchok is actually different from the ones in the Blender modifier. This is like more like a custom nodes made by Sverchok developer to do the Boolean. So if you like just doing it this way, sometimes the hard part is, of course, to figure out the transformations, but you can always do it this way. So it's not that hard. Actually, it's pretty intuitive. So let's try doing Booleans on two pops. Let's make the color pink and blue, and you have two boxes, and at any time you can also scale the box, right? The Boolean in Sverchok sometimes it's not always giving you the cleanest result, but it's still pretty powerful. So let's in order to do the Boolean, we need to do the matrix apply. So this is one thing you need to know. You need to apply the matrix first, and then you can do it. You can do the Boolean like usual. So this is polygon data. So it's a bit messy here, but let's clean it up. So remember to always use matrix apply when you have transformations, and as a result, you can now get the Boolean. So by default, the Boolean is intersection. You can also join. See, you see what I mean by not very clean? I mean, it's clean, but it's slightly different. And you can also use difference. So the difference kind of like I think it's A minus B. So maybe try to switch this thing around. And there you go. So the order of first object and the second objects matters. So keep that in mind. You can still go back to the original objects and maybe try adding subdivisions, and you can see the result right there. And if you back it out and then try to smooth it, yep, that's what I mean. Not so clean, but still. Maybe we can clean it up manually or something. But I think for things like 3D printing, or sometimes you just need to maybe remesh it. If you do like a remesh and then you print it out, it should be pretty clean now. So I think working with a box, multiple box, and Sverchok CSG Boolean can do the nice job. There's this options, accumulate nested. This one is slightly tricky. I think I remember I tried using it. But it can be very powerful. You can do accumulations of multiple Boolean objects. Let's do actually something simple. Let's say you start with a simple box, maybe make a bigger unit, 0 everything. Let's look at the box first. Okay, let's make it 1 division, and then let's try maybe to make instance of boxes on every point. Let's do that. So this is the original box, and we can use the points to instance a bunch of more boxes at every point. Okay, so the idea is to maybe to have some kind of control that can create this kind of plus sign from every axis. So this is the second box, and this is the transform. Let's apply the vertices. So this is the points goes in there, and then this is our box, and the result plug in here. Let's see if this is still working. Okay, this is probably the hard way to do it. The easiest way is to use matrix apply. So vertices and polygon face can go there, and then we have the matrix here that can come from this guy, and the result we just join it into a single object, and that's something that we can use for Boolean operation. So let's see if this is working. Okay, there you go. 8 box at every point of the first box. If we bake it, it's a single object. So we can do a Boolean. So I'm gonna keep, maybe I'm gonna keep these objects, turn it into wireframe. Same with this guy up here, wireframe, and we're gonna get the result. I'll give it a green color. So Boolean, CSG Boolean, the first box and the second box, and we're gonna just do the difference. And there you go. The green color is the difference between the first box and the second box. The nice thing about this is that everything is still live, and you can see everything, every box is doing the Boolean, and this one is pretty clean. With box, anyway, with box, it's we can always pretty sure that's at some point if we are doing like remesh, we're gonna get a clean result, because it's only like it's a box, you know, it's all 90-degree angles, things like that, as long we didn't rotate the box or things like that. So this can be a nice workflow, I think. At any time in point we can bake it. So this is what I want to show you today. It's pretty basic, but still interesting for you to try. So that's the result we get. Of course, at any point in time you can also kind of make modifications and perhaps do things with solidify, or even you can do another Boolean inside this guy. Yeah, it can be interesting. For example, let's say instead of just the every box, Boolean box on every corner, maybe you make another one on every face of this, on every center of the face. So let's try doing that. That's going to be the second Boolean operations. I found this to be slightly more intuitive, the nodes way. So matrix apply, we're going to get the center of each polygon. So center polygons. So this guy, we're going to get the center. And for the center, we're going to use another box. And let's look at the result. Okay, we get that interesting corner. Well, I need to probably rotate it because center polygons tend to do that. It's actually interesting. But anyhow, that's okay. Give it a orange color. If we bake it, that's another object, right? And anyhow, we can continue with CSG Boolean. So the result of this CSG Boolean will get another Boolean operations from this guy. So let's give it different color so it's easier to see. Okay, purple, yeah, magenta. And there you go, we get another result. Let's bake it. This guy actually can look even more interesting if we actually do another Boolean just inside it, just like another box, so we can have like hollow, something hollow inside. We can or we can actually do that at the beginning, if you like, before the first Boolean. Maybe that will work as well. So let's try that. So this is the original box, and for the second box we need to make it smaller, maybe 2, plug into this guy, and the result can go in here. Let's see, hopefully it doesn't crash. Bake it, let's see what we got. Well, it's not so interesting what's going on. Yep, I just make changes to the size of the box. So this is box and Boolean. It's very simple ingredient, I guess, for this nodes recipe. So we have a couple of box. If we summarize everything, we have bigger box, smaller box with the different unit size. This one minus this, you get the one in the middle. At any time in point, you can always bake it. So if I bake that, we have this guy. This guy is actually hollow inside. We can't see it. And then the next operations, this guy minus the one boxes at the corner. So you get another result. And then the next one, and then the next one, finally you get this result. So this is of course the power of CSG Boolean. We don't know if this guy is actually clean or not. It's sort of it's not clean, but like I said, if you keep everything like boxy, no corner, you can get a clean result, and you at any point in time you can remesh it. Let's try blocky. See, and this guy should be clean, and then you can render this out, no problem. There you go. I smooth it. It's clean. It's very nice, and I think this is one way to do the modeling. Of course, it's not the most traditional way, but the Boolean is always really powerful, especially for CAD. I think really strong, like the Boolean tools. You can make a lot of whatever tools that human can make. It's all can be made using Boolean. If it's more like organic and a lot of details, well, Booleans can do that as well. But anyhow, this is a workflow that I think you can try. Just try, get used to this first using box and Boolean nodes and see how far you can push this. This is, I think, more intuitive, much more intuitive than using stack Boolean modifier. Yeah, so there you go. That's a pretty basic. Hopefully you find this interesting, easy to follow, and useful. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Bye.